with the link. So, so it's really important. I just think as an entrepreneurial person or in leadership, you have responsibilities to, follow up, communicate, read your emails, things like that. So, all right, we are going to get started because we do have a lot of great information. And we are going to bring up Dave Blanchett. Many of you have asked, is there someone that you can hire to provide these services? And ironically, I bumped into this gentleman at Andiamo Bar. Yes. And conversations, where else? And was like, oh my gosh, our agents were just asking for this. So Dave, come on up and explain to everybody what you offer. And I do have a few flyers that I did print per your email, great, so that you guys can have his information.
How you doing? As you said, my name is Dave Blanchett and I own J&N Fire Protection. A little background about myself. I worked for the Lawrence Fire Department for the past 29 years, and I just recently retired. And, the last 5 or so years of working at the fire department, I did these type of inspections for realtors and homeowners and so forth. So I saw people struggling and they needed some help. So I decided to open a business that I could help them with. I do anything from condos to multi-unit apartment buildings, anything in between. Basically, give me a call, I'll come out, check out your property, and we'll see what it needs, and we go from there. Prices range from, it all depends what you need, basically. Everything is on the flyer that I have brought. I'll leave some for you guys.
Now, in terms of service, other than like the Lawrence, are you familiar with some of the other guidelines just throughout?
I go all over the state. The state has a set of guidelines that they use. Each city and town can grow on those guidelines, basically, so everyone can be different. I take all that out of your guesswork. If I have to, if I've never done work in the city before or town before, I'll call them up, see what it needs. Everything I do is guaranteed. If you don't, for some reason, pass your inspection, I come back, I take care of it for nothing, to make sure you do pass your inspection.
Perfect. One of the questions that we did have prior to was about the city. So Boston's just a little bit different. Do you go into the city and do inspections out there?
I do go into Boston, yes. Like I said, I go just about everywhere. The only place I try and stay away from, to be honest with you, is Fitchburg. They are the absolute worst town to do work in. I will go, but it's...
New Hampshire as well?
To be honest with you, I've been in business 5 years. I've never been in New Hampshire. I mean, yes, I'll go to New Hampshire, but I'm sure they have different laws and whatever. And
okay.
That type
What's
of
the issue with Fitchburg?
Everything in Fitchburg needs to be hardwired, no matter what year the property was built. And every time I go there, I get a different inspector that tells me different stuff. It's a long way to go for me to take my time and just get to run around every time I go there. They're the only fire department that I have trouble with, not trouble, but it's just, they're very painful.
So it's like you go by the NFPA for your inspections, but then every town is different.
Every town can be different. I won't say every town is different. A lot of them do follow the state guidelines. And then there's certain ones like the city of Lawrence, every bedroom needs a smoke detector, no matter what year the house was built. Boston is a little bit different. Chelsea, they're all a little different.
Any require shake alarms?
What was that?
And do any require shake alarms?
No, I've never even heard of a shake alarm, to be honest with you.
I know Art has a question in 1 minute, but I just wanted to tell everybody, in terms of all the moving parts that you do in real estate, this is a no-brainer for me. I don't want to know anything about what you're saying except for the pricing, which is on the piece of paper and in the email. Because if he's going to take the responsibility and he's been a firefighter and he knows what to look for and he has the relationship, that's the biggest thing. The relationship with other like professionals, makes things a lot easier. And so all day long, I would be hiring him for any of these services.
So would we hire him to come out and say, this is where you need to put your smoke alarms? Or
You will come out and he will do an evaluation, and per the guidelines, he will take care of everything that's on the sheet that I'll send you guys right now. Just read it. Art?
Just a quick question on fire suppression, other multi-families, do you make recommendations there and have resources that you can reach out?
I
to?
do. I take care of the whole project on a, if you want it to be, you know what I mean? Like whatever sprinkler systems, low voltage systems. I have people that work with me and we do the whole thing from start to finish. Emergency lighting.
So you'd be able to complete that?
I complete the whole
One
project.
step, I just call you and take care of it.
Correct. Come out, look at it. We'll go through the whole building and see what needs and, go from there.
Daisy, I know that you're raising your hand on Zoom. Can you unmute yourself to ask your question?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, no, I just want to say that they have done multiple properties for me in the past, and he just tell me what needs to be done. He installed the alarms. It's a great service. You don't have to worry about anything. The fire department will go and will pass the inspection, so it will take care of anything. So he done one property that I needed like 20 alarms, like for a family. He placed them all and whatever they're supposed to go, and I didn't have to worry about anything. So I definitely recommend that service because I have tried it many times and it works. So I'm glad to see Dave joining the meeting.
Thank you.
And guys, this is, I mean, we're going to be talking about what we learned when we were in Texas and what Gary's vision is for our company. But the more that you can leverage in your business, dollar and cents wise, that's what you really need to start understanding and breaking down. You stay in your lane. We're going to have some lenders talk today. They stay somewhat in their lane. And I say somewhat because sometimes we have to have a little bit of information, and same with attorneys. It's the same thing, but predominantly I would want to hire someone like this, especially because you are in the fire industry. And so having that relationship all day long. So if you have any questions, we'll be sending out an email today with the flyer, with a cost sheet. Here's his information. So does anybody else have any questions before we move on? Yes, Mary.
So Dave, soup to nuts, then you go out first and look at what's needed. Then do you purchase all whether there's detectives or whatever, and then you install?
Correct. I usually go to, I carry many detectives with me.
Okay,
I mean, there's a lot, so I don't always have everything with
Yes,
me,
yeah.
but for the most part,
great,
I usually have what is needed.
okay.
So I will come out, and if you had everything was correct, I would tell you everything is good, it's good to go.
Great,
And you pay the $75 fee and then we're done.
wonderful.
If I came there and it needed detectives, I would
Yes.
price everything out for you, give you a price, the
Great.
price would be X, Y, and Z.
Good.
And then if you agreed to the job, I would do the job more than likely right on the spot if they wanted it done right on the spot.
Okay, great, great. And you would go to New Hampshire even though you haven't? You
I would, yes,
Great,
totally. I
okay,
just haven't had the call yet, so.
Right, okay, thank you.
All right, perfect. So thank you very much for
You are
coming. And
welcome.
Daisy, thank you for
Thank you for having
speaking
me.
up. It's always nice.
I'm gonna leave these here for you.
Thank you very much. All right, so I'm going to introduce my friend Ross Billings. Ross and I met when I was team leader in Beverly, right when I think you were getting into the industry. And so like people attract like people, it was very easy and natural to be attracted to Ross. So we are also friends outside of work. We're not talking about physical, we're just talking about mental and wait till you see him. For those of you who are on Zoom, then you'll understand. You see him on the screen. But so he is from Cross Country Mortgage, and I would like to introduce him and his team with our office. So Ross, come on up, please. You look good though. You do look good.
Good morning. My name is Ross. I've done work with a couple of you guys in this office. I am the manager of the billings team at Cross Country in Danvers. We are direct lender, direct Fannie, Freddie, Ginnie, VA, FHA, Mass Housing, New Hampshire Housing, Connecticut Housing, Vermont Housing. I'm licensed in 10 states, including all of northeastern United States, as well as a couple of the southern states. My team, I brought Larry and Laura with me today. We have a couple more team members, but Larry and Laura are our other loan officers on the team. So we wanted to bring everyone to sort of introduce, because I know working in a business full of personalities, some people can mesh with other people better than each other. So I wanted to make sure everyone had the opportunity. We do a lot of work at Keller Williams, Beverly, Salem, Reading, Newburyport, Boston. And we sort of specialize in creative financing and making sure the deal gets done. Right now, as of the past 4.5 years, our team has a 100% close ratio from pre-approval to close. So we've not had a deal yet that did not close that we said would. That's something we pride on, and we have turnarounds, and I've closed deals as little as meeting someone to close in 8 calendar days. So we really pride ourselves on efficiency.
And I can attest to that because I do have a girlfriend and I have no idea how she ever got approved. And now she really bought this house in North Andover. And yet you guys figured it out very creatively.
And we just saved her $450.
And did that. And so I don't know how that happened, but.
So we do, as a company, we have no underlays. So basically it's something where if a deal can be approved, we can do it. What that means is if Fannie and Freddie's guideline or FHA, which is Ginnie Mae, or VA have a guideline for it, that's what we use. There are a lot of other companies that will use their own overlays to protect themselves to make sure loans are saleable. We are confident enough in our delegated underwriters that we don't have to. So I've written completely separate story, but I've written loans down to a 495 credit score. I've written a 65 DTI before. It all depends on exactly what the rest of the scenario on the deal is. So again, so our team, a lot of times we build relationships. If you guys have a question, if a deal's not going right, a lot of people have called me to sort of see how it could be fixed or if that's correct. And typically I will know the answer, or I will definitely know where to find it. That's how I built a lot of my relationships. So, I will leave my contact information. Even if it's not my deal, if you have a question, I'm always happy to have a discussion with, what's going on. So.
Perfect. And so you are having an event next week.
Yes, April 28th, we're having a both appreciation and networking event at the clubhouse in Middleton. There will be a lot of high sale realtors that we work with there, a lot of great networking, but more importantly, there's cornhole and ping pong and pool tables and darts and golf simulators and alcohol.
Yeah.
So it should be fun.
So that's on 114 for those of you who don't know the clubhouse. And if you haven't been, it's a great place to go. They have a golf simulator and some other stuff, but we'll be putting that out.
It'll be a lot of fun. We have flyers and then RSVP. So, we'd love for anyone to come who has either worked with us or who would like to just know a little bit more about us outside of work, just to, see if personalities mesh and see how we can support each other.
Thank you. Thank you. And so another reason why I had Ross is because I've been a firm believer, and I've told you this since I've taken over the team leader role here in Andover. As a real estate agent, they hire you, but they also hire the team in which you work with. And Jason's coming up to talk, and Jason also is one of our lenders, and you need to create a bench of talent, because there are times that the product won't work, or the person may or may not be available, even though everybody's going to say, I'm available 24/7. We can't be available 24/7, including a real estate agent. And so it's always great. Ross talked about personalities. And sometimes the personalities is what can clash with the real estate agent, a lender, an attorney, a home inspector. That's why we want a bunch of people. So Ross is a dear friend. Thank you for introducing your team. And we hopefully will see him around each month. We're talking about putting together, a Monday or a Tuesday, just open hours, the way that we used to have for questions. You can jump on Zoom. You can come here in person and ask questions with both attorneys and lenders to offer any free advice to you guys, because you do have a lot of questions and sometimes don't know where to turn to. And shockingly, I don't have all the answers to that. So, all right. So Jason, we're going to bring you on up.
Good morning.
Good morning. And you're on vacation next week, yes?
In New York City, yes.
New York
Fun.
City, when do you leave?
My daughter gets a private 1 hour shopping with a clothes store at American Eagle, or like the Pretty Woman experience, because her uncle runs the store.
Wow.
And it'll
I'll
be
send a
expensive for me.
couple, I'll send a couple of SKU numbers.
Yeah.
Okay,
Pick out a couple
okay,
outfits.
okay.
So Jamie texted me last night. She said, hey, I want to give you a heads up. We're gonna have another lender in the office meeting tomorrow. And I said, okay, that's great. And when she said it was Ross, he's got a great reputation in the industry. So it wasn't some random person off the street. And I couldn't agree with Jamie more. You have to have a bench of talent because we can't be all things to all people. And sometimes, somebody might rub you the wrong way. You say, okay, this isn't a model match. And they go and work with a different lender. So totally happy to greet Ross into the office here, and hopefully we can get to know each other a little bit better. My CEO has a quote that he always says. He says, your compensation is directly proportional to the difficulty of the problems you solve, right? We're dealing with a lot of problems right now, right? In the real estate industry, rising interest rates, inventory problems, appraisal problems. So we want to try to offer you tools and solutions to get over some of those hurdles. And one of the ones I want to bring back to the table, it hasn't really been pertinent over the past few years because interest rates have been declining. But in a rising interest rate environment, it's important to make sure that you ask about something called a lock and shop program. All right. We just amended ours to extend it out to 90 days for a shopping period for that amount. So if you go back to the end of January, where were interest rates at the end of January? Right, 3.875, right? And now we're in the fives. So if somebody would have locked back then and now they're closing now, that's hundreds and hundreds of dollars a month we would have saved a borrower in that situation, right? So we got to put those kind of arrows back in our quiver and see if those are available with the lenders you're looking at today. Ron Carpenito asked me to talk about a appraisal gap situation we had. It wasn't with him, but I was telling the story. He's like, I got to share that in the office. So the appraisal gap things on this particular client was a $500,000 list price. 550 was the offer that got accepted. And the person didn't understand they were putting 20% down, right? They didn't understand that if the appraisal came in short, the borrower had the ability to slide that LTV bar over, the loan to value, just readjust the terms of the loan. The borrower would still bring the same amount of closing. The seller couldn't grasp it. They had no idea. What do you mean LTV? This sounds risky. We switched the loan over to a 10% down loan with a $50,000 appraisal gap coverage. As soon as they saw that the borrower had the ability to cover a $50,000 appraisal gap coverage, just by changing the verbiage in the offer in that additional provision section, the seller's like, okay, I'm comfortable with that. So let's take it. So make sure you're working with your loan officers to structure those deals on a case-by-case basis. Yeah, you can do 20% down and move that bar over, but sometimes the seller just wants to hear it differently in their head. So if you need help with that, give me a holler. And I am on vacation next week, but if you have a buyer that needs pre-approval, I always have my computer and my phone on me. That's what I got.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. You have actually responded to me at night sometimes.
At night, of course.
Like if I just have like a random question, I'm like, Jay.
I definitely didn't know Martini.
No, I know those people. Don't ever send an email or a text after 8 p.m. if you're gonna have a cocktail. That's my lesson of the day. Okay, so what is that? I mean, it's just a great habit to get into. If you're gonna go out for dinner and have a few drinks, you should probably just eliminate response period times until the morning. Like they'll wait. It could cost you a sale potentially. All right, so Jasper,
Morning.
how are you?
Great. How are you? Happy to
Fantastic,
be here.
as you should be.
Morning, everybody. I wanted to I try to talk about things that come up when I'm talking to customers, new purchases. We do a lot of homeowner insurance for new purchases. And someone got a super expensive swing set last week, called me up and said, hey, do we have to add this onto my home insurance policy? I didn't know swing sets were $8,500. They sent me a picture. It was pretty nice.
I'm like, that's.
Nonetheless, they sent me this receipt. 85, it wasn't that, I mean, it had a couple of swings, a tire swing and a slide.
Those creative play sets, swing sets start, by the way,
It was
at 8,000, so
ridiculous.
they got a deal. They go all the way up and the average one is about, I'm very serious. It's about 13 to 15,000 for the average one that you see in someone's home, like out in their yard. That is the wooded structure that has the plastic yellow slide. Tire swing and everything is extra. The way that it's
Treated wood.
right, the wood experience is different, but the lowest amount starts at the 7,500 base.
It
So
was not an elaborate swing set. Nonetheless, she called me, hey, we have to add this on the home insurance policy. That was a first time question for me. I called the insurance company, said, hey, what do we do? You don't have to add something like that. It just so happened it was twice in 1 week. Another person said, hey, I just bought a couch, $18,000 custom from Boston Interior. What do we do? Do we have, how is this thing covered? It's supposed to be a 25-year coverage. Things that aren't in a specific category like that, swing sets, a couch, an expensive dining room table, those types of things don't have to be added to a home insurance policy separately. Piece of electronic over $2,000. There's minimum thresholds for things. Silverware over $1,000. Every policy is going to vary. Silverware over $1,000. Electronics over $2,000. Rings, jewelry, any individual item. Again, this is a big one. Every company is different. Low threshold 1,000, high thresholds 5,000. What you have to do with these types of things is exploit adding them separately. If you've got a lot of it, you need a totally separate policy, an inland marine policy, which is for high-end items.
How about moderately expensive musical instruments and woodworking machine?
How much is the individual piece of music equipment? I ask because music equipment does have to be scheduled on there separately.
$5,000.
We have to put that on there separately.
Okay, what about woodworking machinery? All total over 35 years, I've been, building a shop in my basement, and I'd say there's probably $25,000 worth of machines down
What's, again, it's done by an individual item basis.
there. The
So
most
if you,
expensive one is 7,
7,000,
but the average is below 3.
I would add the one for 7 under tools. And then if you've got one for 1,000 or 2, you're gonna have coverage for something for $1,000. Kind of no questions asked, but if you've got one for 5,000, 7,000, add them separate.
How about an instrument that say, because that included the whole package, the instrument itself is probably about 35.
When you say instrument, like the
$40.
musical instrument, 3,500, I would add it. I mean, musical instruments need to be added separately. The limit on those is low, $1,000, $500. So anything over 1,000 or 500, you're going to want to have that separately.
Okay, thank you.
Does anybody else have any questions about types of things that should be added? Like if Jamie had 10 rings and they were $750 a piece for $7,500 total, that does not need to be added to a policy because the individual valuation for each of those rings is less than any threshold would be, less than $1,000. If she had 10 rings, they were $3,000 a piece. We want to look at adding those separately, whether it's separate blanket coverage or a totally separate policy. Totally separate policy is not going to have a deductible. So your things aren't subject to a deductible like a regular home insurance claim.
Well, thank God I don't have 7 rings, 750.
You have 70 rings at 750.
I don't know where we got the jewelry from. Yeah, we do have a question.
Oh, question. Talk to
Yes.
me.
Jasper,
back.
what about, so my husband does woodworking in the basement and he's got probably $10,000 worth of woodworking tools. What about something like that?
You broke up when you said the amount. Tell me the amount again.
Probably close to $10,000.
10, and is it 2 items worth 10,000 or 10 items worth 10,000?
It's probably like 10 items worth 10,000. He's got like a
That's
whole
gonna be
shop.
under your regular personal property. I mean, there's no reason to add kind of something like that separate. If he had something kind of elaborate, 3,000, 4,000 for one tool. Here or there.
Here.
I would say, yeah, you want to kind of look at adding some sort of additional coverage, blanket coverage, or putting it on there individually.
Okay,
You could put $10,000 in blanket coverage for all of the tools and kind of not have to worry about it.
yeah,
And that's very cheap. Blanket coverage is subject to a deductible. Adding it separately is not.
okay, thank
Mary.
you.
On the jewelry, I was always under the impression they had to be some kind of an umbrella policy. I've never understood it.
Mhm.
And,
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
so, and we have our insurance with USAA. And, but could we have, say, jewelry protected separately, like through you, or does it have to be through our home insurance? We have all our insurance through USAA.
Typically,
Yeah.
you have the home, the things individually scheduled, the jewelry on the home insurance policy.
Okay.
And insurance companies make it a requirement. So they make it a requirement of me that if I'm gonna facilitate or manage a policy on jewelry, they have to have the home insurance policy
I
too.
see. Okay.
And an umbrella policy, like you mentioned,
Yeah.
is not personal property coverage at all.
Oh,
The jewelry is scheduled under its value for personal property. Umbrella is liability.
oh.
So if somebody tries to sue you, say for slander, or if you went to a country fest and didn't like the way somebody looked at you when you socked them
Oh.
right in the kisser,
The way I usually do.
the way you usually, I know how you roll, Mary.
Ooh, that was a Mary spicing it up today.
They could sue you for that. That's what liability is. That's what an umbrella policy is. It's not gonna go over, it's not gonna go over jewelry, but I'm sure if you have the jewelry on there separately, it has its own individual value, so it's very likely covered appropriately. It's just not covered under an umbrella.
I actually have a really great idea. So we start to learn a lot about our agents and their personal lives when you speak, and it's kind of interesting. But why don't we just put together a 1-hour Q&A mastermind with Jasper and insurance questions? Because a lot of you do have either personal questions or questions that you should maybe know about that could be another piece of value proposition when you are dealing with a property that maybe is an estate or something like that. You know, I've had to bring in insurance people before into an estate situation where the people haven't lived there in a long, long time, and there's a lot of valuable things in there. And so they need a bond, they need this, they need that. And so I think this would be a great idea to maybe
Happy
put
to.
something in May as like a 1-hour just Q&A, open for questions, anything insurance related, personal umbrella, this umbrella, that umbrella, all of them,
All the umbrellas.
all of them.
Hopefully it's a
Okay.
rainy day.
Okay.
It's gonna be rough.
All right,
Not this afternoon, only for about 10 minutes after.
I don't
this,
know
but
if
now.
Mitchell is
Why
actually
do you have a list of
on.
the questions? What if we do
So
that?
I apologize, but I can't go through all the participants. So Mitchell, if you are on, will you just raise your hand? He might not be on today, but so we'll just skip, and if he comes back. I know that Susan and Mark are meeting, but I do know that Kate is on here today. And so I'm just going to introduce it to Kate. She's going to talk about our DocuSign class as well. So hello, Kate.
Good morning, everyone. I am actually at home today, so I apologize for the black square, but I'm literally like at my first cup of coffee, so I apologize. If you do not use DocuSign and want to learn how to, I'm not going to proclaim myself an expert on DocuSign, but I can certainly get you through an opportunity. Tomorrow's class is for you. If you are already familiar with DocuSign, I've made some things workable in DocuSign for all agents that will certainly make life a heck of a lot easier for you. So if you are familiar with DocuSign and want to learn how to make it more user-friendly for yourself, you should attend as well. So I look forward to the class tomorrow, and hope to see a bunch of you there because it would be fabulous.
Thank you, Kate. So yes, as I said, it's vacation week this week. Kate has kids, I have kids, so we're kind of doing the back and forth. So I appreciate you being available. You know, with DocuSign, there are some things that agents don't know that probably could make their life a little bit easier if they just took a quick 30-minute time out of their business to learn some things. When there's a product, whether it's a command platform, it's a new platform, to be honest with you, it's even putting together furniture. How many of you put together furniture and you're right close to the end? This is definitely a personality test right here. And there's a couple of pieces and I'm like, I know what it's supposed to look like. Forget those directions. Let's go. And then there's been times where it's worked. And then there's been times where I'm looking at the product and I'm like, huh, I don't know why it's not really sitting right, or I don't know why this. And I'm like, oh my God, because I was supposed to put B side here and E, I have to switch them. And then, you know, I do nothing. I take the sticker off and I put it against the table, put it against the wall. So a lot of you naturally have figured out ways to navigate through DocuSign, and that's what you're used to. But there are ways that Kate has figured out and that we're working with forms and templates to make your life a little bit easier so that you don't always have to put all of the boxes each time and stuff like that. So Kate will be introducing some of her findings tomorrow. So if you could at least just jump on through virtual, it would be probably beneficial to you. All right.
Thank you.
So You're welcome. Yes, is that a question? Okay. All right, so our big red day is coming Thursday, May 12th. We would love to have about 25, 30 participants. Shelley and Art have been very great on helping us with the Lazarus House collaboration for us to do some projects there. We will be meeting here at 8 a.m. At the office. You will be broken into a few groups. We do ask you to wear a red day t-shirt. We have some extra. If we don't have any extra that fit you, a red t-shirt is fine. So why do we wear red? Well, KW red's what Mo Anderson wanted. It's Mo Anderson's birthday. And she is what our company culture is established was with Mo Anderson saying, if you provide a culture and camaraderie in an effective area that you want to be a part of, nobody will ever want to leave it because the culture is so great. Even when you have times and opportunities of chaos or conflict, if the environment is still positive, we can work through those. And then that's where the Y4C2Ts came about. So we will be working in the Lazarus House Soup Kitchen. And we will be volunteering lunchtime and serving and being servant leaders to others. We also will be doing some interior painting. So those of you who love to paint, there are some rooms that need some freshening up. So we'll be doing that. And we will also be working in the food pantry location. And in order to pass out the lunches, and again, there's about 300 right now of lunches that get put out during lunchtime currently. And I was unaware of this, but when I took a call with everybody, they're still in that phase of COVID where they just grab the lunch and they take it and go. So fingers crossed, we're really hoping that on this day, it will be a last minute game day decision, that we could provide tables and a tent and outside and the weather will cooperate. So the lunches that we are putting out, that they can stay and eat them and we can socialize and, and take the time to build relationships and learn. If that's not the case, we still will be handing out the lunches. And so the reason why you're in the food pantry location is because it's easier to have them all pre-bagged and then people to send them out. So it takes a team of people. There'll be different things. If you haven't signed up yet, here's the QR code. Take your phones and sign up. We will be sending out a sign out sheet. We will be providing breakfast in the morning, just like some light stuff. And then we usually come back to the market center around 12:30, 1 o'clock for just some pizza and salad and things like that. However, if this is so successful and we do have an outdoor time period, then we will be providing burgers and things like that also to our KW helpers. So it's going to be a game day decision, but we would love to see a lot of you volunteer. And I really appreciate the direction of Art and Shelley and being able to put this together so quickly. Yes.
We need to bring gloves, masks, any stuff for COVID or food.
Not really. Everything's going to be provided. The only thing that we might provide for the painting is perhaps some paint supplies, some brushes and that kind of stuff. I have a bunch of those. So if anyone wants to bring 1 or 2 of their favorite paint brushes, they can do for trim.
Yeah, there's only a couple rooms that need to be done. And I think that we have all of the supplies, which was what the question was here in the office. I think we already have enough supplies, but great question. All right, so ALC, I know that, and Art's in here and some people are online. Many of you are going on vacation as well this week. So I know that a lot of you are I'm getting text messages at the same time, so I'm trying not to look at them. But we had a great event, I heard, with axe throwing.
Yeah, we did. So thank you for the participation. We had close to 20 people come out for axe throwing. It was a great event. And I think we had some really challenging folks that were able to get out there and do a great job. It looks like we had really stiff competition. I think we had Robin was one of them. We also had Jen Hamilton. I think Jen Hamilton took the
Ultimately though,
wasn't it Jen?
who was the
Oh,
winner?
wait a second. Oh, wait a second.
Ultimately.
Hold it. Get over here.
No.
Yeah. No, it wasn't Jen. It was,
No. I won the semifinals
Jen Houlihan won the finals, so I can't take credit for
She
it.
kicked my
but
butt.
I did.
We need a disclosure here.
Yeah, full
It's a
disclosure.
competitive group, I heard. got
Yeah, it was pretty
competitive.
competitive. So great events. So we're looking forward to further events, to include a golf event. If you're interested in getting involved in the fund committee and being part of this, we would love for you to be able to reach out to either myself or Gloricel, and we would love to have you part of our committee. So please reach out to us by text, email, and we would love to have you be part of that.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I don't know if Greg or Heidi or anybody else on here wanted to speak up.
Okay,
I know that
I'm
they're
here.
trying to put together, what is it? Is it Heidi?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes,
so
Heidi.
No meeting today. We couldn't get it together in time, but we're going to be meeting on May 4. And I just wanted to also, on behalf of the Finance Committee, remind people that on Friday we have the live at the Market Center of the MREI. So hopefully some people can join. That's definitely a good way to get financially more prosperous. And also this week, I attended a webinar that Janet Faulkner shared, Profits First, and I really liked it. And they shared a replay link with me since I attended, and maybe some folks would be interested in listening to that. That webinar definitely got me interested in now finally reading the book. So reach out to me if you would like the replay link. Did I forget something, Greg?
No, I think that was it.
Okay, good.
So we will be playing a short video from Gene Rivers himself. I reached out to him because some of you really don't have a grasp of what the MREI is. So we know the MREA is the blueprint and the red book that you see that we all talk about, that some of you have read and many have the intentions of reading. And Gary talks about the 3 models to be a successful agent to net $1 million. And so the MREI is for investors. This is a big opportunity on Friday to be a part of the investor seminar, because the economy, which we're going to talk about in a minute, and I could just probably switch on to the mega leadership slide. There are a lot of nuggets that we heard from Gary. You know, back in family reunion, Gary was like, buy dirt, and everybody laughed, and there was a t-shirt made, and Gary's like, buy dirt because nothing's moving. And if you buy dirt and build it, the value of the build will sustain. Where right now, with rates so low at the time, the buyers, the market was dictating itself with the shift that there was not enough properties out there. People were overbuying, spending way more than they really had, but monthly could afford it. And then he compares it and talks about the economy. And he's like, but the price of the economy went up, gas prices, food prices. And so are they going to be able to actually live in their homes? Gary predicts a little bit that we are going to have a 2009 period again. We are in a recession and most people don't know it. They don't feel it. He says that when you're making all this money, that real estate agents made 30 to 40% more than they've ever made by doing the same activities. Nothing else changed. It was the volume driving the money, and people made life decisions on this. And now we're going to see REOs, pre-foreclosures, short sales slowly coming around. And so when you're in this type of business, you want to be active, not proactive. And I know that kind of sounds bizarre, but you have to be actively right now doing things in your business for the later. You don't want to be in the later of a shifting market and deciding, what am I going to do about business? That's exactly what happened with a lot of our buyer agents. So if you were heavily with buyers this whole time, what happened? You couldn't get your offers accepted because there were 25 to 50 offers, and hopefully yours was either well-written, you knew the agent on the other side, you took off home inspection. I mean, you were doing everything that everybody else did, but somehow you had to figure out how to get offers accepted. And a lot of agents' business went down by 30% last year because they were heavily reliable on buyer agency. And so the people that were taking all the listings, they didn't really see a change in their business. So part of the finance committee, we are bringing next month an operating principal out of the Springfield Market Center. And him and his team closed 250 units that specialized in short sale bank-owned properties. And that's been his niche for a long time. He does it at a high level. So one thing I thought of when we were at Mega Camp was, well, we need to bring in this stuff so that you have the opportunity to learn how to build relationships with banks and things like that. Because if this time does come, you don't want to be figuring it out while it's happening. You want to be proactive and do the stuff actively now and not reactively during the time of the moment. One of Gary's quotes here said, "I began to realize that the world was changing, that there was a migration from being physically based and digitally enhanced to being digitally based and physically enhanced." This is a big quote for Gary Keller. He's been against technology back in the day. He was all about belly to belly at Mega Camp, which Mega Leadership Camp, by the way, came very quickly for us. We didn't even know we were going to have Mega Leadership Camp. For almost 40 plus years, Mega Camp has always brought together agents and leadership, everybody, and everybody goes to Austin headquarters and we all learn at a high level for almost a week. And Gary has been very purposeful about breaking this apart and talking to leadership about the change of the industry and what that looks like. He also talked about the artificial intelligence. He's adapted and adopted the command platform, which now we provide for agents, the capturing of free leads in a Facebook, Instagram integration platform. And now he's talking about the team brokerage model of being able to develop leads within the market center and providing a lead opportunity for agents who can't successfully get leads on their own. And everything has a cost to that. Just like if you look at other models, you could go to another company that potentially might have a lead system to hand you, but what is typically the split? Does anybody know? 50-50. And when they hand you that lead, now they want a what? A referral off of that lead. And how much is a referral? 20-25%. So I'm thinking about one company that's been around for a really long time that provides this, and those agents are on a 50-50 and they have to give 25% for the lead. So how much are they bringing home? Not much. 25% off the 25% off the 50%. Like it just goes down from there. But they wouldn't have had the lead. They would have made $0 is the point if they didn't have the opportunity to work with the lead. And so our job is to create more trainings around conversion. The biggest problem is conversion. Gary's been saying it, Tony DeSella's been saying it. It's the objection handler. It's that Monday morning quarterback moment where you have a conversation with somebody and you walk away and you're telling that story to somebody else. And then you're like, oh, I wish I should have said that. Like I could have said that. I wish I would have said it, right? And it's the same thing when you get in front of a listing opportunity or working with a buyer. Sometimes you don't know why you didn't get that listing, or the buyers chose not to sign an exclusive contract with you. And we have that conversation, or you have it with other agents, and then you learn something from that and you're like, oh, next time I should have asked that question, or I should have said this. That's all memorization, customization, script, objection handling. That's the work that you need to do as an agent to have those answers. And in order to do conversion, that's where everything is going. These pre-qualified third-party companies are training these ISAs. And somebody that does this at a high level, I have to say, is Jeffrey Liriano. Other than real estate, one division of his company that he has is he has built an ISA company within his domain and bubble of the Liriano team. And they are specifically trained to make phone calls around their listings. And there's a specific script for it. Yes.
What is ISA?
Inside sales agent. So there are people like that, yeah, just make phone calls.
Okay.
And debt collectors is a great one. If I was thinking about hiring somebody to make phone calls for me, I would be outside at 7:30 a.m. outside of a debt collector's office where those people are checking a clock, they're making minimum wage. And I would say, I have an opportunity for you, because what do? They hit the phone. They get to keep their job based on how many phone calls that went through their telephone system, by the way. You can't beat the system if you are in that industry. And so how many dials did you make? How many people connected? How many people picked up? How long did you keep them on for? And did you provide results where we can reduce their debt or put it together and things like that? And so the creativity of where the industry is going is what some of like what Gary really talked about as well. So Ashley, did you want to add a little bit of anything that maybe?
I'll just read 3 quick quotes that
Okay.
Greg said that kind of really stuck with me.
Maybe we just come up here for them.
Sure, I can do that. There's just 3 things that Gary kind of talked about, and what it was, how Jamie was saying with the recession isn't coming, it's here. So if you haven't jumped into your business, you got to jump in now, you know? There's a quote that he said, it said, "You don't need to know it all, just show up." So that to me just says, stop getting ready to get ready, just jump in. So if you want to make a cold call, let's say, and you're like, well, I don't know what to say, maybe now's not the time. Well, it's 12 o'clock, so people are on lunch. It doesn't matter, just pick up that phone. And if it's a complete disaster, guess what? You learn something from it. You know, we're always failing forward as a company, and it's a win-win, no matter what happens on the other end of the phone. The other thing was, success is determined by the quality of the people that you attract. Talent attracts talent. So people like Ross, like Jason, like Jasper, these are the people that you want to build relationships with now. So when you do get that client on the phone and they do need that pre-approval and they need it fast, who are you going to call? You know, if you haven't built these relationships, Ross, exactly. If you haven't built these relationships and you haven't been, you know, like working with your SOI and your lenders and your this and your that, you're going to have no one to call. So get into business with these people early and now. Another thing that Gary said was, if you can't put it into words, you are living your purpose unconsciously. When you can put it into words, you can feel it, you can believe it, and you can be more purposeful with your choices. What I think that means is basically always check yourself. What is your mission? What is your values? How are you working as a business owner? Are you working on your business or are you working in your business? So always check back. Am I living to my potential? Am I breaking through those glass ceilings to get to that next level? So it's just kind of a reality check for all of us, myself included. Just what's your purpose and are you standing by it? And are you living by it? And are you living through your values and attracting like people? That's all. Those are kind of the 3 big things I got from Gary.
So those are actually great following, and you'll probably notice that we're both holding these. I have to say, Ashley introduced me to the iPad experience of Nobility and Good Notes, and they've been a game changer in my business because everything is all here and I can print it. I can put it into a Word document, PDF. So it's very easy to take these notes with Gary. So some of the things he talks about, you know, we run this happiness book club on Tuesdays. And so he was talking a lot about fulfillment and what makes you happy. He said that a lot of people during COVID had the opportunity to take a good look at their lives and decide, is this what I want to do? And if I don't want to do it, what am I going to do to change it and go change it? And a lot of people quit their jobs. A lot of people changed jobs. A lot of people got into the real estate industry. A lot of those people that got into the real estate industry are people that led companies. He thinks that we are going to have a 30% fallout of people in the industry in the next year, year and a half, and it will show up. And at the same time, the real estate industry is going to make more money than it ever has. And agents will make more money than they ever have because the quality is going to go up, because it's going to drive the people that cannot do what they may be intended to do, but either by choice or by I don't know. Maybe it's just not a good fit for them and they belong as a transaction coordinator. Maybe they belong in marketing. Maybe there's tech opportunity. There's so much opportunity in our company that I put a Facebook post up to go out at 5 o'clock today. Here in our market center, we're looking for opportunity. We're looking to grow our leadership team. We need somebody as a tech trainer. Who do you know that loves technology, that can learn our technology products, that has a personality? They're learning based. They love to teach. We want to pay them. We want to give you the value. We need to hire that person. Business development and productivity coach. Can never have enough mentors, and I can never have enough coaches here. There are agents who always want to learn. And so I need to give the opportunity, and it can't just be done by the couple of people that are on our leadership staff. Assistant team leader. When I grow into my new positions here in our bubble at KW Success and Ashley grows, we need to replace great people like ourselves with people. So we always need a bench to pull up from. We talk about the talent. We talk about creating that. Some of the things that Gary said, he said, money will not make you happy, and that air is free, and that love and parks and things, no matter in life, don't have a price tag. He says, and I have to laugh, he's like, they don't make ice cream for a billionaire. We all eat the same ice cream. And it's true. Like when he said that, everybody was laughing, but money isn't tied to happiness. You know, Gary Keller taught Quantum Leap, which is an amazing training that we are going to bring here to our office. You have to be certified. I'm going to go get certified. Until then, I think I'm going to have Chris Hill teach it. And it's all about who you are. Quantum Leap is discovering, what do you really want? And it says, whose life are you leading? That's a big question I challenge all of you to ask yourselves. Like, whose life are you leading? Are you leading the life that your parents led you down the path to do? You're going to be a school teacher. You're going to be this. You're going to be an attorney. You're going to be that. You're going to be the best of the best. And you just followed what the protocol of what everybody always wanted. But when you look in the mirror, like, are you happy doing what you're doing? And is that what you want to be doing? Then he said, ask the second question, how do you know? How do you know you are leading the life? And what's the truth and what's the evidence behind that? The word choice is whether or not you are leading your own life. He said, dogs don't have a choice as a human. When you don't exercise choice, you're not leading your own destination in life. There are a lot of notes that we took, everything about life, the way that you look at it, how you build a purposeful life. He talked about Scrooge and A Christmas Carol, which, by the way, I've never watched. I know. I only know it from like the duck and the Mickey Mouse people. I know, but what's the one with Mickey Mouse and the duck? Muppets. No, there's a Muppet version. Okay, so we have a couple different versions. I would love to have a movie night, to be honest with you, here in our market center to watch this movie, because I have about 4 pages of notes that I kind of understand, that probably would be more purposeful and intentional of me understanding, based on that Scrooge, he said, Scrooge, change your life or you will end up like me. And he gives them opportunities to look at himself, to change. And so COVID did that for us, is what Gary was saying. And so if you're not plugged in, if you're not plugged into real estate, you're not plugged into these trainings, you're not plugged into growing yourself, it's going to force you out of this industry. And then it's going to force you into something different. And what does that look like? Because the world is changing, jobs are changing. So we would love to provide that. And there's so much more. So if anybody wants to listen more, maybe we'll do a mastermind and all the great notes that we took on Gary Keller. So the MREI that I was talking about, let's just hear a little bit from Jean Rivers. I have to say, out of all the instructors I've ever taken from, when I first started in this company, I didn't start as a real estate agent selling for Keller Williams. I always think that to be a team leader, you should probably be with Keller Williams for at least a year to understand our acronyms, understand our systems, our models, to understand so many things. Because when I came into this company as a team leader, coming from another company, I was like, what is all this stuff? Like, it took me a year to figure out, like, Y4C2, this, what's TL, MCA, OP, what's this big thing, just all of it. The first training I took on my first day was called OP Clinic with this guy here, Gene Rivers, who I'm gonna play the video. His personality, I absolutely adore. He's from Florida. He says it like it is. He doesn't, he says these things that I don't even understand. He's like, we're gonna gut them like a fish if they're not doing their job. I'm like, what does that mean? And he has a humor to him, but he honestly is, of all the people in our company, he's a really smart person. He has a high level team. And when I went to the OP clinic was to explain the TL role and the OP role. And when I went for this opportunity, I was told, here's a great opportunity to attract new agents to the company based on our models and systems and what we offer. And that you would be responsible for, again, at the time, that OP that I was working for said manage, which I don't like that word, and just manage an office. And I was like, oh, this is going to be so much fun. All right, I'm going to take the job. Then I went to the OP clinic and basically cried on my way home from Foxborough and was like, oh my God, what did I sign up for? And so with the opportunity and the roles, the way that I've taken this before, please, if you can fit this in on Friday, take this, because there's not going to be a lot of opportunities that these men and women of our company, they're not going to be teaching anymore. I mean, we just listened to Jason and Mark and Gary, and I gotta say, I don't know if it's true, but I definitely think that Jason will definitely take over the company, and Gary Keller is going to sit back, and we're going to be hearing from Jason Abrams all the time, and Mark King, and that they're looking for new leaders. So the Karen Prahls of the world, they're going to be rising up, and they need to be replaced in Chicago, and the regional people need to be replaced, and there's opportunity everywhere. So what is MREA? What will you get on Friday? This is what Gene sent us.
Hello, my name is Gene Rivers, and I'm here to invite you to attend the Millionaire Real Estate Investor Workshop. It's right around the corner. It'll be here in just a few days, and it's all based on this New York Times best-selling book, the best book ever written on residential real estate investing. And I know a lot of residential agents and commercial agents think they understand residential real estate investing, but here's a hard truth. They don't do a lot of residential real estate selling, meaning they're not really talking about it. And I got to tell you, my experience is that agents don't talk about it because they really don't understand it. Are you aware that a bad real estate investment, one with no appreciation and no cash flow at all, can still yield over 8%? And I'm not talking about bookkeeping tricks with depreciation or deductible overhead. I'm talking about hardcore return on investment is over 8%. You'll learn how in this seminar. Are you aware that there are many opportunities in real estate investing sitting out there with your past clients? The people have the money and have the need and are ready to do something with assets that they own, but because agents don't talk to them, nothing changes. You need to come to this seminar. We're going to talk about what you need to know about real estate investing for you yourself, because the truth is, agents in NAR are not significantly investing in real estate either. And because there's no retirement planning, you know what? A lot of you potentially are going to hit the time where you either don't want to work or you can't work, and you're not going to have enough cash flows coming in to live the life you want. So you need to focus on real estate investing too. But professionally, I truly believe you need to be promoting real estate investing, residential real estate investing, to every single person you help buy or sell real estate. I think it's the perfect closing gift. Give them a copy of this book with an inscription on the inside from you that says, this book can make you millions. We need to talk. And give that 3 months after the closing, and then set a separate appointment to go discuss. How are they going to pay for their kids' college? How are they going to take care of aging parents who are going to run out of money? How are they going to fund their retirement and live the life they want? And most Americans do not have ready answers to that. Come to the Millionaire Real Estate Investor Workshop. You won't regret it. Your clients won't regret it. And most important of all, your family won't regret it. My name is Gene Rivers. I am a real estate investor. I have houses, lots, land, condos, townhomes. We're gonna talk about this in a real world aspect, but you're gonna learn how to help you and others become wealthy. See you there.
So, what did I just write here? Oh, so one of the things that Gary talked about was that people have the assumption that the rich buy at the bottom of the market. And they actually don't buy at the bottom of the market. They buy right at the sweet spot of the middle of the market. And that is what helps stabilize the change of the market when the change is happening. And he actually will talk about that a lot in terms of it. I've always wanted to invest. A lot of us probably think it would be so great to have passive income. If you don't think it would be great to have passive income, like let's schedule an appointment because I'd like to know why you wouldn't want to receive it. But here at Keller Williams, you know, passive income is free. If you attract an agent to the company, they actually produce and we share back the profitability of our company. That's free. You don't put 20% down. You don't have to put 3%, 5%. You don't have to take a loan. That is free to you. I get paid to do that. That's my job, to bring people and attract them to this company. So that's one way. The second way would be an investment property. And so as much as I know, I've never bought an investment property. I'm in the middle of looking into an investment property right now and reading a lot of great books. One of the books that spoke to me last night, and I'm sitting here, how am I going to come with 20% down for this opportunity that I want, that I know is a big opportunity, but I started getting caught up in the details. And right at this, the book from Robert Kiyosaki, right there in the middle, he was like, if you're trying to use your bank account, and I have the chills, to put the percentage down that you need for this investment property, you're doing it wrong. And then literally I was like, well, tell me how to do it. And he's like, how much equity do you have in your house? I texted Ross last night about the meeting and I was like, Ross, listen, I have a question for you. I'm like, I got to figure out how to do this, and do that. And so when I heard this in the book, a light bulb went off for me, because they talk in the whole entire chapter exactly what Jean talks about, that when you have money there, take out some of that money, put that money into another piece of property. And when that's doing what it's supposed to be doing, take a little bit from this one to do that one, and let them all pay themselves. Don't take, Gary said, don't take, well, Robert did too, but Gary said, don't take the operating expense money out of your bank account right now, when our economy is kind of unstable. You're going to need that money to actually live the day-to-day life. So just from personal experience, I have to tell all of you guys, I don't even know how to do it. And yet I'm so plugged in on this that if that's what I really want, then I have to do all of this research and these podcasts and reading and the MREI and watching how others do it, and not get caught up in these small details. If I want exactly what he said, if I want to retire, I'm 43 years old. I want to retire by 55. 55. I don't want to have to work. I want to work because I choose to work. And I know that when my kids graduate college, I don't want any excuses like my parents have to get on a plane because they can't afford it, because somebody's having a baby, somebody's graduating, somebody's this, somebody's that. That is what drives exactly what I'm doing now. And you have to figure out what drives you and why are you in real estate. And what do you really need in your business? And whatever that is, whether it's leads, whether it doesn't matter, growing a team, information, more education, let's be honest, getting back to the foundations and the fundamentals, then you have to choose to do it, because the industry is going to force you to do it. And I don't want to see anybody here at KW get out of the industry if they choose not to. I don't want you to be forced by force. It's by choice. So, yes, Frank.
So was he saying take money out of your equity for your primary residence?
It's one way. It's one way. Yeah, when I have a lot of equity in the house, why not? As long as I'm not taking more than like going right to the line
Well,
of.
I mean, I don't want to get into a discussion, but I
Yeah.
have a why not, but. we
Well,
can talk about it.
and I will send you the book and podcast that I'm listening to. Yes, Robin. The Friday. This week, Friday, on Zoom and in person. So there's 50 spots. Yeah, so Robin asked a great question after my whole, that was my natural speech talent. Because I want it. Like, listen, like, I mean, I don't know about you, but you're in real estate. So I don't know what you've been doing with your money, but if you don't have a 401k and you don't have a retirement plan and you don't have IRA and you haven't set yourself up, Gene is passionate about this. He owns like 9 market centers. He owns a region, and every team leader that works for him, he has this conversation. And he tries to make them understand that investments are the opportunities and how to build wealth. It is wealth building. I have been promoting that on Fridays. Are like the 2 guys that run our company, Mark King and Jason Abrams, at 8:30 in the morning on Fridays, go to Wealth Building 2.0 on Facebook. It is free. He tells his natural story of how he has changed his wealth and foundation from being a higher team leader at $60,000 a year. And he runs our company and he's a millionaire now. And that was, by the way, in almost less than 5 years. And so you can go in person. It's in Beverly. We'll resend out the link today. The tickets are still available. They're only putting 50 people in the room with Gene at the Beverly location. I know a few of our agents are going. You can watch it in the privacy of your own home, buy a digital ticket, or you can come to our market center on Friday where we've bought my ticket. I'm putting it up here on the screens. Lunch will be provided for you and you can sit here and learn. Okay. All right. So thank you for reminding me of that. Here are our daily, up-to-date monthly numbers. So if you're looking at for a specific territory, Methuen, Dracut, Tewksbury, or New Hampshire, because I can't pull New Hampshire and I'll explain why. Please let me know and I can pull these graphs. Ashley can pull them, Kate can pull them. This is what the market in our grid is showing. All right, so for total, so this right here, you'll see on both slides. I just want to show you both. Hold on. All right, so you'll see that that is unit number. This is volume in total. So from January till now, based on our territory, Andover, North Andover, Methuen, Lawrence, blah, 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 all 8 of them, we are number 1 in both volume and units as a company. This is a great story to tell. This is the real story. Where do they pull the numbers? MLS. We're not lying. That's not even accounting for all of the offline listings, all the the ones that are not closing under MLS. And so this also tells us our market share is at 5.2%. It tells us our average price right now. Days on market, 35. That's interesting. Some of you are like 35 days. How is theirs 21? How is theirs 18? Well, that's because ours is spread out more. Okay. So remember, when you see all of these posts from agents that say, I'm number 1 in the Andovers, I'm number 1 in here, I know that I can make you number 1 in a category if you're a producing agent. It's how you pull the numbers. It's how you look at it. Numbers are everything. And so I just have to tweak it and say, oh, Robin's in here. She is the number 1 agent, let's just say in North Andover. We'll use in the world, she says, in North Andover, but she's almost number 1, right? So I'm doing a proficiency metrics for her. So she's almost number 1, but I'm like, you know what? It's kind of right next to Andover, North Andover, Andover. And I just pull one town. Bloop, there you are, Robin. There's your graph. You're number 1. And then we put that on Facebook. And then we have, because I've told you guys my story, Debbie Caruzzi, Sharon Coskren, both of them put out from 2 different companies, Coldwell Banker and Remax. Congratulations, you're number 1 sales agent in North Andover. I put them both together, threw a group text together and said, who's really number 1? Who's really number 1? And they're both competitive and they had to figure it out. And it's because of the way that they pulled the numbers. I pull the numbers to be fair because this is our franchise. And so this is great. We are projecting. The problem that we have right now, and it's a problem from market center. So this is numbers. We have all these closings coming in. Everybody's capped. So what's my problem? What's my business problem if I have all these closings coming in and as an agency, we're really doing great?
You don't get any money.
Cash flow.
My cash flow is a problem that I have to be aware of. Because if there's no company dollar, then I'm not taking any money in. And what did you say, Sadie? Wait, so then I have to get more agents. So now I have 200 agents on my roster. What's my problem? They're not all producing. So then what do I need to do? Get producing agents. If I don't get producing agents, I have to make agents. I have to make agents produce. And the only way to do that, guys, is if you want it and you go to these trainings, you go next week to Ashley's branding class, you go to Kate's DocuSign class, you come to the MREI, you go to something. You know, we can only get you to do so much, but these are still great numbers in total. And in terms of units, here we are for the same reason. And so you can see for the units, the 86 mark is what we were just talking about, for 86 units.
What do you do with all the cash that you brought in before we got a cap?
Great question. Frank said, what do I do with all the cash before everybody capped?
Put a plan.
So in our model, just like your business model, and this is the finance committee, and this is why it's important. You get a multi-year trend report, an agent associate report. It's in the drive of your KW platform. It will tell you last year how many closings you did in January and February and March and April. That tells the story. What's the story? Well, if Christine's not closing anything in June or July, what was she doing in March and April? I don't know. Ron said nothing. I wasn't going to say nothing, but it could have been a life circle. I'm just as an example. This isn't really Christine's numbers. But life happened. It doesn't matter. But the activities weren't happening for her to be able to produce and close 30 to 60 days out. So in a market center, when we collect money, our model is if I collect $100,000 this month, I already know, we're an open book company, that our expenses on average monthly are a good 50 to 60, sometimes $70,000 a month. 200 agents, we have technology, we have platforms, we have rent, we have salaries, we have this, we have paper, pens, printer, insurance, we have everything. We pay that out monthly. I already know how much I need to bring in to break even. Anything over that is profitability. If I'm not bringing in enough each month, our books need to be closed at the end of each month. It's not like an agent's business where we're robbing Peter to pay Paul, everybody who just got their taxes in today and didn't put away quarterly taxes. And now you're panicking because you're like, I just have to find a listing so I can get the $8,000 to pay the government. Okay. It's different. We really actually are held accountable at a level that is so different than the typical entrepreneurial person with respect to what you do. And so because of that, to go back to Frank's question, each month we've already divided it. If there is profitability, who gets 48%?
We do.
The agents. Who takes 52%? Owner profitability. And so at each month, we don't spill over unless the owners decide to put money back into the business more so than what's already part of our FSO model. From their 52%, they might be putting 20% back in each month. So really they're not kind of netting 52, they're kind of netting, and we're not talking about taxes yet, less than the 20%. And so that's how they're budgeting everything.
So you don't throughout the year, take a big chunk of cash and say, this is
No.
emergency, and then you
No.
have a big pile
No.
for when no money's coming.
No. That's not how this model works. That's
Okay.
not how a successful company works. That's not how Southwest works. There's a really great TED Talk on Southwest on how they budget their Southwest model. They've never really had problems. Southwest is like an amazing story, how it came about and how they hire people and how they stay accountable to their profit and loss statements. They talked at Mega Camp a few years ago, the president. That's not really the answer to everything. That would have to actually come from the decisions of the owners. But great questions, because this is talking about business. And when you start to understand your business, unfortunately, as real estate agents, can you control listings? Can you control buyers? Can you control what you close each month? Not really, but to an extent, because the actions that you're doing this month should result in what you're doing in the following 30 to 60 days. And so the only one that can ask that question is yourself, and be honest with yourself based on the activities of you saying, oh my God, I was so busy today. What were you really busy doing? Because I know that we have cameras in leadership not real cameras physically, but we have cameras watching us and asking us how many recruiting appointments, how many this, how many that, who's doing this, what's on your training calendar. There's so much accountability that the pressure is like a pressure cooker at times. Can you imagine if I put that pressure or you put that pressure on yourself in business?
We need diamonds.
It is what it is.
Dude, if we did what we're supposed to do.
Okay. All right, so KWRI numbers, many of you, month over month, year to date, love the percentages. We always throw that in. As you know, I like to talk about the actual solid numbers because percentages sometimes are just not everybody's friend and they don't understand. So for closed units in March, so this is great. So many of you would say, if I didn't have that speech about profitability, 67 in 2021, but in 2022, look at that, 73. We're doing more. Look at the closed volume. The volume's more. Listing takings are down. That's a problem. What does that mean? Well, it means that we're still bringing in money and we're working with buyers. But if there are, listen, we don't have a problem out there. There are other agents that are listing properties. It's our job to figure out how are they listing properties? How are they getting those transactions? And that is really, it's back to the basics. I just taught it yesterday. Go watch my video. I'll send it out today. MREA, lead generating, taught it for an hour to the region. It's about the activities. How many people you're adding to your database? Do you have them on a 12-touch campaign? In the MREA, it says for every 12 direct campaigns, 12 direct a year, for 50 people in your database of non-Mets, you've never met them before, they somehow are in your database, there's 50 of them, and you put them on that 12 direct, which is one a month, you should get one piece of business from it. It's right there in the MREA. It tells you the actual numbers. Follow the numbers, divide them by half, divide them by quarter. But figure out a system and create a lead generating plan to allow this to occur. Listing sold 32 to 36. We track this. My point is that we track our business so much that, just like Gary said, that when we are in a reactive state, we were already proactive. So we're just being active right now. We don't need to be reactive. All right, welcome our newest agents. We had a great month last month, a lot of people joining us. And so this is everybody. Producing agents, as you know, from other companies, we send out something in Facebook and an email. We'd love you to welcome everybody though. And so when we send these emails out, it's always great to get a hello from an existing agent here at our company. So thank you for choosing Keller Williams. Brand Your Business, we talked about, is next week, Tuesday and Thursday with Ashley from 11 to 1. Masterminds are back. So if you're in Mastery Mastermind, there's 52 of you that I sent an email to. We do have George Kelly for 1 hour, who runs a high level team out of Pennsylvania, is the regional tech person, shares his screen and shows you how he uses Command. He doesn't use any other product but Command to run his team, to run his business at all. And so he talks about it, he shows it. That's for my mastery group. You'll see that for Growth and Launch Mastermind, we will have a special guest. I'm putting both groups together, and that will be on Wednesday, May 11th from 1 to 2 as well. So we'll be running those each month. Ashley came up with a great idea. A lot of you go to Ashley for questions that are, honestly, it's everything. It's from Amazon Prime to real estate to I don't even know. But Ashley finally got control of that and said, you know what? I keep getting the same questions. So why don't we create a top panel? Why don't we pick 3 people that have either been nominated by agents that you would like to hear from, or we're going to pull from the top 20% to volunteer their time to do a Q&A. She'll moderate it. And it's like, what are your questions? We're going to ask you your questions in advance so that it's purposeful and it moves forward, so that we're not stuck on one question for 3 hours when it's only an hour and a half. And we already have them pre-advanced. You love that, right? And so what questions do you have? Because why reinvent the wheel? A lot of us are pretty smart. When we get to know each other, that's why I love Jasper when he comes in. I mean, the insurance thing sometimes, it just brings out all these stories of like, I have the tools, I had somebody else the tools and the rings and this, and it's like, oh, so let's just ask the current agents here. That will be to be determined, but Ashley will be sending out some information about that. So in order to make it happen, we need you to participate. Congratulations. You'll see that our region recognizes a lot of people, and I'm just going to move this because this is important. Sorry, all of you that are on Zoom. Wait, let me go back. Just to minimize you guys. Again, I wish I had my Mac right here. Okay, so congratulations for Jen. Number 3 in listings sold, number 9 in listings sold volume out of over 6,500 agents in our region. Unbelievable. Congratulations to Treetop Group. Number 3 in listings sold volume, number 6 in closed sales volume, and number 7 in listings taken volume. And so congratulations to you as well. We do send out a recap of the emails. In the email, we will say how many individual agents, how many teams, how many groups that are in the region. It's pretty impressive. And to have those being recognized as the top 10 here in our office is pretty special. So I'd love to hear from them too. I would love for them to be on panels and for them to give back and mastermind with. I think we just found 2 right there. Congratulations to the Loriano team. So number 5 in closed units and number 7 in GCI. Congratulations. And congratulations to the Donahue Group, number 4 in listings taken volume, and they now qualify for luxury. And so congratulations to the Donahue Group, and this is our luxury. So in order to qualify for luxury, we've sent an email on the qualifications. It's also in the All Agent Access Drive that overwhelms people when they log into the All Agent Access Drive because you actually have to find it. And so I'm going to post some of this above the printers on qualifications. A lot of you are starting to qualify very quickly. Be careful. You're qualifying based on what? The volume. It's volumes and units. You have to have 4. That's the base number, but the volume is there. But if you don't stay with the volume, then you have to be careful because you'll be knocked out of luxury. So this is always revolving. I think we said it was 24 months. 24 months. You have to stay within having 4 existing closings within that cycle based on that amount. In Essex County, Middlesex County, all of them are different. So if you're looking for qualifications, but congratulations because Susan and Kelly are the newest additions to luxury. Congratulations on first listing, Jose Silveraro and Kelly. Thank you. Congratulations. And first closing, Shannon's here. Not just first closing, she's had many closings. So she's hustling. I definitely see some competition for Rookie of the Year next year. Congratulations to top individual closed volume to Miss Jennifer Bauer. And the volume on that would be, sticky note. Okay, top individual volume in this market based in March is
3.2 million.
too much. Oh, Mr. Billings, 2.7 million to exactly almost, yeah, 2,748,000. Congratulations for closing that much business, which is pretty much half capping, although capped in 1 month. I know this is 1 month. And remember, the reason why I do these two is because sometimes the unit is just 1 or it's 3. So you never know who it's, people like all of us, we have great months, not so great months. And that's the opportunity that if you're doing the activities to produce the results, to get in there and be in the top. Congratulations to the top team for closed volume. Susan Sells team volume amount.
3.2.
No. 1.4 million goes right back to what I just mentioned. Top group closed volume, congratulations to Treetop Group. And so top group closed volume would be, it is not 3.2, it's more. You can't guess your own numbers. Hopefully you know your own numbers. Yeah, 9 million, a little over 9 million, $9,274,200 exact. Congratulations. Okay, top individual closed units, congratulations, Jen Hamilton. She was for volume at 2.7. So how many units was that in March? 7. So just think about that. 7 units based on what she was doing March produced the 2.7. Whereas someone can take a listing tomorrow that's a 2.7 listing and sell 1 unit. And so, all right, so top individual, top team closed units. Congratulations to Susan Sell's team. And so they actually did it for closed volume at 1.486. So how many units? Two. Good job, Christy. 2 units. Congratulations. Okay, so the top group closed volume was 9 million, right? Treetop. But top group closed units, the Loriano team.
13.
Because you sell a lot of luxury high end right now. And it's not 13, it's more.
15.
It's not 27, it's not 17,
15.
21.
Oh, wow.
Can you imagine closing 21 units in 1 month?
Yes.
Well, then do it. Then do it. Okay, congratulations, $1 million listed in 1 month. So let's get them on a panel because they're doing something to list not just one property, but over 1 million. Congratulations to Deb, Justine, and Amy for $1 million listed. Congratulations for teams. The Donahue Group have listed over 1 million. I think they're on their 3rd property and they are luxury. Congratulations to Kelly and Susan. And congratulations for $1 million listed groups, Treetop Realty, Faulkner and Associate, Kelly, DNA, and the Loriano team. Congratulations. So they must be doing something right to get all these listings. I definitely see that we should have a listing panel coming up as well and learning how they are getting these properties. Congratulations. So it's great to list stuff, but it's always great when they close because we really want to close them up. So congratulations for $1 million sold individual, Daisy and Leo, Jen Hamilton Bauer, Miss Robin sitting in the back, and Jen Koa. Congratulations for selling over 1 million in real estate. As you know, the sweet spot is about 4.2 million based on a 2.5% for you to be a capper. So you're on your merry way if you're not capped already. 1 million sold for teams. Congratulations for the Susan Sells team. Congratulations for selling over 1 million for groups. Team Ortega, Treetop Realty, Treetop Group, DNA, Liriano team, and the Marin Group. So congratulations. March anniversaries. I always love these because that means that they love what we provide and they stay with Keller Williams. So we have newbies and then we have experience all the way to Alyssa at 15 years. So congratulations for staying with us. We would love pictures. I think we need to send an email out to get some of these. Please send us your profile pictures. Happy March birthdays to all the baby Marches. Oh, Mary, there you are. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to everybody here. And so I'd like to just end today's meeting with a little bit, 4 truths on mindset, and that today is a choice about today's a good day to have a good day. So I've told this story before, but you know, when I was younger, my dad didn't get an education. He dropped out of high school. He didn't go to college, things like that, but he was very adamant that no matter how I got to college, that I was going to college, including my siblings, but they didn't follow that choice. So, but I did. And, but he just taught me about work mentality and ethic and to grind. And if you want something, and he used to plant all these little seeds of knowledge to me. And one of those things was every time you walk through a new doorway, you have to forget about what happened in this doorway environment and get through the next one. And that everybody is showing up the best they can, given the circumstances that are going on in their life. So you might have a bad day with somebody, or somebody might be off, but you have no idea what happened prior to, but we become very judgy when we're dealing with that person, whether it's somebody at the grocery store, whether it's in a personal transaction in real estate. Always come from curiosity. And you never know what people are dealing with because a lot of us don't put it all out in social media and ask for your opinions about it. So 4 truths about mindset. Creativity flourishes in the absence of fear. Change your mind, change your circumstances. If you believe something to be true, it stimulates your adrenaline and efforts and affects your senses. Your mind is a part of you and it should be your servant, not your master. You will not hear about opportunity and fear. And then if you don't, let's see, if you don't use your talent, you will lose it. And Gary talks a lot about that. They applaud the knowledge and talent that someone, and this is whatever God you believe in, gave you. Distraction versus traction. Which one have you been focused on? I can, I will, watch me. And so during our happiness book club, if you haven't read it, it's okay. I know that Christine's on it, Mary's been on it. I'm not sure who on Zoom's been on it. But it's just a discussion of what we're picking up, little tidbits in the book. And so one of them is to make a choice. Like nobody can take your choice away from you. Like you really get to make a choice. I used to think to myself, oh, but you know what? It's not a choice. I have to go do this. And then what we've learned is, well, I don't have to go do it. I get to go do it. So when I'm driving my kids, because they have so many sports, at least I have kids, at least I have a car. You know, there's certain ways that we can look at it. Reaction versus respond. This is a big one. Please, if there's one today that you focus on, nobody likes a reaction unless you are that person who is just that person who just likes to light fires up on people. Don't be that person. Okay. But respond. It's just so much more classy. It's with integrity. When you want to react to something, I challenge, put it in your notes. You want to say something to somebody, you have something to say and you want to react to a situation, try typing that out. I guarantee you'll be halfway through it and you'll want to throw your phone because you really don't even know how to say it because you're so embarrassed that if that actually came from you and got sent, that if somebody screenshotted that and put that on Facebook and said, Robin had a bad day, but that's what she wrote to me. Would that really be a reflection of who you are with the integrity of the person that you are? And if you have a hard time doing this, then use the Mel Robbins 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, breathe, and then implement whatever that reaction or response is. So does anybody have anything to share for buyers, listings, opportunities, things of that nature in here first, and then I'll go ahead to Zoom. Okay, anybody on Zoom that needs to raise their hand, just unmute yourself. Do you have anything to share?
I
Listings,
do.
buyers.
Jamie?
Okay, perfect.
Oh.
Yes, Lori.
I have a listing coming on this afternoon. It's 19 Forest Street in Haverhill. It's a completely updated 3-bedroom, 2 full bath house, 2-car detached garage on about half an acre, very level lot. I'll be doing open houses Saturday and Sunday. If anybody has anybody, they can certainly send them. List price is $499.9.
Excellent, congratulations, thank you.
Thank you.
That was Lori.
Call me if
Yes,
you need more details, anybody.
Okay. John, hi, John.
Hello.
Are we from Florida or are we local today?
No, we're in Somerville today. We're local. I have a fantastic new listing coming on the end of next week. It's a single family home. It's a Second Empire Victorian single family in the Prospect Hill area of Somerville. It's about 2,000 square feet plus a full finished basement. And the price will be around 1.8. So if you have any single family Somerville people, let me know and I get you more information. Thank you.
Thank you, congratulations. Just a 1.8. And it used to be Slummerville, but they have changed.
No,
They have
it's not
changed.
Somerville.
So listen, I'm not the only one that was thinking it. I was feeling the energy from Miss Christine over here. So I just said it. Anybody else online?
Yeah.
Oh, Heidi. Yes.
Yeah, so I still have my listing active in North Chelmsford, 4-bedroom, 3 baths, just shy of 2,100 square feet on 137 Groton Road in North Chelmsford. And then I have one coming on tomorrow in Tewksbury. That is a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath home built in 1987, and everything is original, so it needs a little love. And list price is 650. If you update everything, it should be an $800,000 house.
Perfect. Thank you, Heidi.
Oh, that's on Mount Joy Drive in Tewksbury. Not sure if I
Tewksbury.
said that. Yeah.
Okay.
Jamie?
Jen?
Yes.
Yes.
Hi, I have a new listing coming on either later today or tomorrow, 21 Kennelsworth in Andover. It's a 3-bedroom colonial. 1.5